Hi, my name is Jonas, and I just wanted to show you the 6 easy steps I use for maneuver and docking in Kerbal Space Program. I won't say it's the right way to do it or the most efficient. I'm sure people out there have better ways, but this is just what works for me and has made it extremely easy. So, in this particular situation, I've got 2 ships orbiting Kerbin that are identical. Let's go to ship 1 first, and we'll go ahead and select Valentina's ship. Ship 2 is our target. And you'll see that first thing you'll see is that they are in 2 different planes. And the first thing we want to do, step 1, is to match up their planes, because it's going to make all this a lot easier if they're on the same plane. So the first thing you'll notice is when we selected her as a target, it brought up 2 additional markers, the ascending node marker and the descending node marker. Ascending node is where our orbit starts to rise above hers. Descending node is where our orbit starts to go below hers. So what we're going to do first is we're going to plop down a maneuver node at the next ascending or descending node. And since we're rising above her orbit, we're just going to drag down to bring our orbit down with hers. And you drag down until you see the ascending and descending node markers start to flip, and that's when you should be at 0 if you look at it. Close enough. Okay. So, let's go ahead and make that burn. I'm going to turn on my SAS here and aim at my maneuver node. And we're going to speed up and make our burn at 8 seconds till till node NT. Alright, so I started about a second late, but that's okay. Do our burn here. Slow down a little bit so I can make sure to stop right at 0. And we're 0.1 millisecond, which leaves us at 0.1 degree. That's good enough. So, step 2, we want to either raise our orbit outside of hers or decrease it to below hers. And you'll see that right now it is below hers. If you look at it from the top and think of this as lanes of a racetrack, the inside track goes faster while the outside track goes slower, because the farther your orbit is away from the planet, the slower you go. So, in this case, we can either raise our orbit outside of hers, which will cause us to slow down and let her catch up with us, or we can keep it on the inside so we speed up and catch up to her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a spot where I want to do the rendezvous. I usually like to do that at the beginning of the light side, so that way I've got the entire light side to do the docking. So I'm going to put a maneuver node here and increase my orbit outside of hers a good distance. That's probably more than enough. I'll bring it back a little bit. Let's do that. So let's go ahead and do that burn. Okay, we started burn at 3 seconds here. Kill it there. That's good enough. Okay, so step 3 is we want to decrease the distance between our intersects here. So what we're going to do is out here at our apoapsis, we're going to drop another maneuver node, and we're going to expand our periapsis out. And you'll see these markers come in, and you want them to get real close to each other. Okay, we'll carry out that burn, and then I'll show you where to go from there. Okay, we've performed that burn, and we got our intersects here close to each other. So now we're going to do what I like to call my final approach burn, and I'm going to put a maneuver node right between these 2 intersects. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on it so I can add or subtract orbits to the amount of time until my burn. And you'll see that each time I add an orbit, the two points at where we are going to be at on this intersect 2 will get closer to each other. And you'll notice that after the second orbit, our locations that intersect 2 have passed each other. So I'm going to right click on maneuver node again, and I'm going to use the retrograde marker here to pull these back in. And I'm going to right click on our intersect 2 here that shows our separation. So you'll see that as I drag my retrograde marker here, our separation point gets closer. And what I like to do, when we get this close, I'll use the mouse wheel to fine tune that guy down to 0.1 kilometer if I can get it there. Right there, just like that. I'm going to perform that burn. And you'll see down here at my time, we've got about 3 or 4 orbits until we get to that maneuver node. But after we make that burn, the next pass around, we should come within 100 meters of each other. So let's carry out that burn. So after we've done our burn, if we look, and we can look down here as well, let's go to our approach info for ship 2, and we're still about 1.4 kilometers at our next approach. So we turn on RCS. I'm going to use the H and N keys for forward and back translation to see if I can zero that in some. Alright, and there we should be within 63 meters at our next approach. So, and also this, if you look here, it says that at that approach, our relative speed will be 57.7 meters per second. So I'm going to drop a maneuver node right on that closest approach, and I'm going to decrease my speed. Since our orbit is outside hers, I'm going to decrease my speed by 57.7 meters a second. Alright, so I got my maneuver node set there, and it says here that it's a 2-second burn time. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to aim at the maneuver node marker. I'm going to aim at the retrograde marker. The other thing I want to do here is on my compass, I want to set it to target mode. Because what that does is sets all your markers here on your compass plus your speed here relative to your target. So what I want to do is when I get to my target, I want to burn retrograde, which is going to slow me down in respect to my target. So let's go ahead and fast forward onto the maneuver node. As you noticed, as we get closer to our target, it appears with a green marker there. So as you've seen there, I burned past my window there, but basically all I did was kept burning retrograde until my speed is now 0 relative to my target, so I'm not moving. We've effectively rendezvoused there. We still got a little bit of distance, but we can close that by just aiming. Let me get rid of this maneuver node here. Aim at our target and burning a little bit. So I got 1.5 meters a second velocity towards our target. The prograde shows our actual travel path. What I can do is I can turn on RCS, like I said, make sure to hit caps lock to go to fine tune mode. I can use the I, J, K, and L keys to just, fine tune that and get it aimed right at our target. We can fast forward a little bit until we get there. As long as you keep your speeds nice and slow, you won't have to use a whole lot of RCS or a whole lot of fuel to do this. All it takes is maybe a little more time. So we're getting closer now. I'm going to kick on our RCS and we're going to burn backwards to slow down. Or we can aim at prograde retrograde marker and slow down or speed up to stop. So let's look around here and see. Oh, man, we got real close, didn't we? And we're going to set her docking port as target. But what we're going to do here is we're going to set our camera mode to lock. So it locks our camera to the orientation of our ship. So up is up, down is down. And we're going to use RCS to give ourselves a little bit of velocity. We're going to aim down to the right a little bit. So we go past her ship. We're going to aim at our prograde marker. So once we get in a good position here, we can use RCS to burn backwards and stop. Now we can turn off our RCS, flip around to our target, and now all we got to do is just burn toward it, real nice and easy like. Maybe a little bit of left translation here so we can try to line up a little better. As you can see, I'm turning off the RCS to do a rotation. Boom, there we go. We're together. We have docked. Alright, I hope this helps somebody. Thanks for watching.